Man, everyone in your entire league stinks at fantasy football. They're all going to draft the worst players in every round. But you're not going to, because right here in this video today, I'm going to let you know every terrible worst pick in each and every round. And how exactly are we going to do this? We're going to take a look at Fantasy Pros average draft position. And it doesn't just take one particular site. Maybe yours is different here and there, but the best way I thought is kind of the way they have it right here. They have an average of right here, Yahoo, Sleeper, and RT Sports. So if you are thinking about looking at something like Underdog or any best ball average draft positions, those are going to be quite a bit different because wide receivers, just the way that the whole community acts on those particular type of platforms, pull up the wide receivers a ton. You want to take a look at the very first round. Now, it's hard to say there's going to be a terrible pick that's going to absolutely crush you in the first round, but you can take a look at a few different things that tend to lead players to do better than other players. What I think is going to be a first round pick that's going to absolutely bust people is actually right down here at number 11. You see it right next to me, Ashton Jeanty. Now, why is that? This kid's an absolute stud. He's got these measurables up here, 84th, 83rd percentile right there, and everyone's super high on this guy. He's going to get the absolute workload for the chart, or for the Raiders. Excuse me, good start to the video, but that doesn't absolutely matter. See, the thing is that teams that aren't as good just tend to score less touchdowns. And yeah, he's going to be good. He's going to make the team better. They did bring in Geno Smith. Besides that, the receiving core is essentially the same. They got Jack Besh, I guess, and another rookie that they've been putting in there a little bit. But beyond that, they don't really have a whole lot else going for them. So just strictly based upon rookies tend to not do as good. Look even at Bijan Robinson's rookie year. I had him. I drafted him in the first round. I know how it went. It didn't go terrible, but compare it to some other people that you see in the first round here, around the same area, Quinshon, McCaffrey, Henry, Amon-Ra, Puka, that's a little bit ahead of him, but even behind him, we got Malik Neighbors here, Nico Collins, Devon Achane. As long as his quarterback is in there, he does great, and he is healthy as of right now, but Brian Thomas coming off a huge rookie year already, you already know he can do it. So really taking Ashton Jeanty here, you're probably, in my opinion anyways, going to be better off going with a receiver, coming back around on the turn. If you are, let's say, hypothetically in the 11 hole, go in with Malik Neighbors or Nico Collins, come back around and take Achane and Josh Jacobs, or even double tap and wide receiver, depends on your setup. So that is what I would say for the first round. That's 1 through 12 here. Ashton Jeanty might be a little bit of a problem. He might give you the Marvin Harrison treatment from last year. He was getting drafted super high, and a lot of people regretted it. Even though he didn't have a terrible season, it wasn't the absolute greatest. Now, coming in at the next one here for the second round, this is picks 13 through 24. And the one I'm going to bring up here, Bucky Irving. Sure, Bucky had a pretty dang good season last year. His measurables weren't that great coming out of college, but really he was just behind Rachaad White, and he was incredibly inefficient. If you come down and look at his stats, he did end up with 1,100 yards, and he really didn't play really the full season. It is 17 games. I'm not saying he was hurt or whatever, but this is really not bad. So why would I recommend maybe this is a guy you might not want to look at here in the second round? Well, first off, Bucky Irving, they lost their offensive coordinator, and it can be a huge change when you're losing a main coach for offense like that. He went down to Jacksonville, I believe that was Cohn. So that whole offense, who knows what exactly is going to happen there. Not to mention, you still have, if I can find him, it's way down here, but Rachaad White really even did a little bit. He was still getting carries and stuff like that throughout the season. He's too far down there for me to find, but who knows if maybe he's going to be getting used more. There's a lot of different things in flux. So when you're looking in here at the second round at Bucky Irving, I mean, how great is he going to be relative to, actually, let's look at people behind him. Jonathan Taylor. What other options do you have there in Indianapolis? Nobody, am I right? Down here at Chase Brown, they just cut Zach Moss. So they got some 5th round rookie or something along those lines. Tyron, even though super inefficient, apparently McVay just loves him, and they just ride him into the ground year after year after year. He never really gets hurt. Sure, Josh Jacobs is up just a little bit ahead of him, but he's guaranteed locked in right there. Marshawn Lloyd just got injured. Again, that guy has some bad luck. So really with Bucky Irving, you never know if Rachaad White's going to, start splitting more 50-50. I believe they have another guy, Tucker, that are kind of a receiving back that the coaches just tend to always like, no matter who it is. So Bucky Irving there in the second round could be a little bit of a problem, especially relative. And like I want to mention, if I didn't mention this earlier, I think I might have forgotten. These guys are not off your boards, okay? but just where they're at. If Bucky Irving was down in the end of the 3rd round or something, it's going to be a different story. If you're choosing between, I don't know, down here or something in the 5th or 6th, it's going to be a different story. But for right now, Bucky Irving is somebody that I necessarily would not draft there. So coming up at 25 through 36. So we're talking the 3rd round. These are 12-team leagues is what I'm talking about here for the draft. Just slide everything around if you're in a 10. We're taking a look at Breece Hall. Now, Breece Hall has a little bit of things going against him. He's down here at 31, so just slid in there. But he's got the new quarterback, Justin Fields. Now, he's going to be running. Everybody knows that. Justin Fields runs a lot. Also, the Jets are projected to not score a lot of points. So there is going to be some designed runs sometimes for Justin Fields, taking away probably a few touchdowns from Breece Hall. Not scoring a lot of points, taking a few away from Breece Hall. But Breece Hall kind of wasn't the worst. I guess he got over 1,000 yards, kind of all these different seasons. But you got to remember, he had statue quarterbacks here. So these quarterbacks were not running for him. Was this Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers for 9 and 10 touchdowns? I could easily see that dropping back even under 15 right here. They do have a few young running backs as well behind Breece Hall here. And even though, man, these stats up here, he comes out looking great. But with the young guys behind him, with Justin Fields running, and Las Vegas has them projected for not that many points, he's somebody that I've been steering clear of, like in every format, even if it's best ball and stuff, almost exclusively. Every once in a while, I'll pick him up in best ball because, man, he is a great athlete and all that stuff. But it's hard to really go ahead and take him at where he is when you're looking at the same people around there. Breece Hall, you got James Cook. He led the league in touchdowns last year. Sure, he's going to regress in touchdowns. He's still going to have more touchdowns than Breece Hall. So, I mean, how can you really take Breece Hall over James Cook at this point in the draft right here? I find that absolutely crazy. So, taking a look at the next one, and this is, I kind of feel bad about this one because I like the guy. He's been good. But right here in the 4th round, taking a look at Terry McLaurin. I lost him on the list. Oh boy, Phil, good job. There he is, number 38. So he's actually right almost off the bat here at the start of the round too. So even if he was later in the round, it would feel better. But Terry McLaurin, with his hold out / hold in, whatever you want to call it, he's demanding a trade. Supposedly he wants to get paid, but it's pretty standard practice. And you see this every year. When these players hold out, they either get ramped up slowly or they come in not fully prepared. And even though the guy's awesome, look at the speed here, scores. This is coming out of college. He's been in for a few years here. But with his age 39 here, age 39, look at this guy. That's an old man. I mean, I'm almost 40, but 39 for NFL years, that's crazy to be that age. Even though he's a superstar, they usually get a couple more years, 32, 33, that they're still good. But missing all of training camp and then coming in unprepared, unconditioned, this is like a recipe for an injury. It's hard to predict injuries, but literally recipe for injuries right there. Now, he's great. Like, I want this guy with Jaden Daniels coming in, 13 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Like, I seen him doing really good until this happened. And I don't blame players for holding out to go ahead and get their bag. Like, get as much money as you can. Like, why am I going to be mad at a multimillionaire when these billionaires won't pay him? Come on, you know what I'm saying? But Terry McLaurin here in the 4th round, only due to this holdout and missing training camp and all this stuff, he can kind of give you some problems. Maybe you could bet on Marvin Harrison here having, a pickup year for his 2nd year. Devontae Adams is actually not that much older than Terry McLaurin. I always think of Devontae Adams being old, but he's barely older than McLaurin. I mean, he's going to Matt Stafford, loves slinging the ball. The eternal one down here, Mike Evans. And if you even go further down here, the number 1 receiver, DJ Moore, in the Chicago offense that just got the new offensive coordinator, Cortland Sutton down here. There's a lot of guys that are like at least right there. And then with the holdout and the problems that you're looking at getting there, I would watch out for Terry McLaurin at that spot. Now, taking a look at the next one here, picks 49 to 60. So this is the 5th round. We're taking a look at DK Metcalf. Now, I am so hard off of this guy, and I'm so hard off of this team, off this offense for fantasy. DK Metcalf, absolute beast. Look at these different scores over here. 98th, 100th. Can you get higher than the 100th percentile? Didn't know that existed for speed score. First, I mean, this guy's freaking crazy. Everyone remembers those pictures of him coming out of college with a shirt off, absolutely ripped, absolutely jacked. He's at a good age. 27 is like primo prime wide receiver, but man, he's going into a rough situation. Has anyone ever heard of a guy named Arthur Smith? I personally, it served me pretty well in the past. Well, in the more recent past, steer clear of anybody on those teams. I drafted Bijan Robinson. Everybody knows about the notorious headache game. This guy, Arthur Smith, is just the worst coach in the history of the NFL. And some reason people keep giving him new chances. He loves to run the ball all the time. So he gives the ball to terrible running backs over and over again instead of giving it to the best people on his team. So they don't get more first downs. That means you don't score as many points, which means your fantasy players don't get as many points. So even though with subpar quarterbacks, he's putting up double digits here, but not really explosive seasons, he's now going into the Hall of Famer, right? Aaron Rodgers team. Well, this is a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, not 29-year-old Aaron Rodgers or whatever he was when he won the Super Bowl, the MVPs and stuff like that. He does not have the same juice. And also, he's kind of weird and crazy. So you never know when he's just going to lose his mind, run off into the desert. All of a sudden, you got Mason Rudolph slinging the ball to DK Metcalf here. So at this point in the draft with DK, I would much rather 10 times out of 10 take Courtland Sutton over DK Metcalf right here for sure. And you could even make arguments for guys further down here, JMO or maybe Xavier Worthy, depending on what happens with Rashee Rice with his suspension and stuff. But yeah, there's just so many other options I'd rather have than Metcalf. Steer clear of anybody that is going to be drafted high on an Arthur Smith offense. Now we're looking at pick 61 to 72, and we're looking at tight end, old man here, Travis Kelce, right here at number 67. This guy is absolutely falling off a cliff. He would much rather spend his time with Taylor Swift than practicing football. Can you blame him? I suppose not. But we're taking a look at, I don't have his player profile pulled up. Let me go ahead and get that for you right here. But Travis Kelce, if you go ahead and look at his last few seasons, we're going 20, 16, 18, 14, 12. Man, receiving touchdowns, 12, which the only reason this is so high, got the most touchdowns in a season he ever had. This would be back under 16. This should be drop, lower every single season. 5, 3. The thing is, he misses a couple games. He doesn't even miss that many games, but the passing in Kansas City has been going down. They still have Isaiah Pacheco. They re-signed Kareem Hunt. They drafted another guy. They signed Elijah Mitchell. They're pretty much, in my opinion, showing they want to run. And if anyone gets hurt, they want to keep running it some more. Why would you go ahead and use your weapons, especially when they're old manned weapons, like we thought some of the other people were old? 35. What is this? Oh, he's going to be 36 years old. My goodness. How could you even survive an NFL season at that age? He's, in my guesstimation, going to be playing part-time probably. It's just somebody that personally, I would steer clear of, especially at this ADP here, Travis Kelce, 67. You can get starting running backs for teams. You can get rookie Travis Hunter. They traded up a bazillion picks to get to him. You think they're just not going to play him? Oh, stick him on defense. Sure. Calvin Ridley, the number one receiver, way behind him. Olave, number one, but it is a bad team. But Jerry Jeudy starting. So these are guys with question marks, but guaranteed production, guaranteed to be playing at least, unlike at pick number 67 here, Travis Kelce. Now we're looking at round number 7 here, and we're looking at a guy that I really wish I could draft. I really wish I could, but apparently he did some bad stuff, kind of scumbag. Quinshon Judkins, he's accused, allegedly, of doing bad things, hitting his girlfriend and stuff like that. Can't be doing that stuff, fellas, especially when you're about to be on the verge of being a millionaire and you make a crazy, we'll call it a mistake. I hope it was a mistake, or he's a complete scumbag. But Quinshon Judkins here, and even at this round, unless there's some new news that pops out, you really cannot be taking him here. Now, yes, he's in a good situation for carrying the rock a ton. They drafted Samson. They have Ford still there in Cleveland. He has pretty good scores coming out of college here, but with that crazy news, how could you possibly draft this guy as even like a flex guy or something like this? So facing potential domestic violence charges, like I mentioned, there's been some newer reports coming out too. They asked the coach, or maybe it was the GM, about what was going on with him. He said he didn't know this, didn't know that. And they said, when's the last time you talked to him? He's like, I'm not really sure. And they asked, have you talked to him in the last month? And he said, no. So even though ever since this stuff came out, he has not even spoken to the team. That does not sound good. That sounds like somebody who knows they're guilty, someone who knows their life, they just ruined their life, and they're just too embarrassed to even speak to anybody. So regardless of his situation, even though it's a bad team, usually, that lowers the scoring, but he had a guaranteed like workload essentially we were looking at there at this particular round, unless, we're looking at round 7, you're still probably drafting a flex, or this is going to be like a guy on the bench, but you kind of need those to still help you out. Maybe best ball going a little bit later and whatnot, but at this point, Quinshon, Judkins, I feel like you just got to go ahead and skip them. Taking a look down at round 8, there's a dude that could have been good, but not with the situation. He actually lost his job last year, and it's really just a few picks later here. Actually, it kind of jumps around to the next round the way 12 picks works here. We're looking at Travis Etienne. I cannot understand why this guy is this high at pick number 88. Now, even last year, if we scroll down, let me go ahead and find it real quick for you. I clicked over to the news there, but scroll down to the game logs for here, and you can see towards the end of the season here, he started off good here. He started off 11 points, 14 points, 12 points, 12 points, but then look how it ended up finishing up when he ended up losing his job to the GOAT, Tank Bigsby. 5, 6, sorry, this is blowing you out for the white screen there. Had a few okay games, but then 5, 8, you just can't be doing that. He completely, essentially, lost his job. We're looking over here at carries, 12, 13, 11, 11. Then down here, 6, 3, 3, and he had a few other ones that are a little higher, little twisted ankle here and there. But even when he was getting more carries down here, 15, 9, 13, he was getting no points. This guy literally lost his job to Tank Bigsby. So they still got Tank. They brought in another guy, Tootin, in the draft who could probably do some pass catching from what I hear. But I don't believe that at this point you can possibly draft this guy. Sure, he's praising him, saying the trade rumors are, yeah, you're not going to trade him because no one's going to trade you anything for him. More likely he's going to end up being cut, but really likely he'll end up on the team. He'll get the same type of usage as last season. So where he's at right here, Travis Etienne, you going to want him, or are you going to want Steph Diggs, the number 1 receiver for New Englander? Juwan Jennings, I know he's kind of holding out too there, but we got a very consistent receiver here. Khalil Shakir, Jacoby Myers, starting wide receiver for hopefully an improved team, but there's no way you could say that. You can start getting good quarterbacks here with the running quarterback of Justin Fields or Jared Goff for just consistent, easy points. There's so many more people to draft around here than Travis Etienne. And not to mention, Tank Bigsby is down in like the hundreds, 120 or something like that. Wait, isn't he the starting running back? So why are we taking Etienne at this point? Now we're going to look at, for the 9th round, and this is going to be another running back. A lot of running backs here. Another person who just fumbled their chance here. And we're taking a look at Najee Harris. Now, if you didn't hear, he went ahead and blew up his eye in a accident with fireworks. And that's just rough. So running back Omarion Hampton and Kamani Vidal see opportunity surge. So that was in the Hall of Fame game. They both got a ton of running. Omarion Hampton, I mean, these guys are going to be splitting carries up off the bat, and Hampton should be good enough to just steal this guy's job for sure. He's not going to run it at all. Vidal didn't get much work at all last year. And the thing is, Najee Harris, yeah, he's the Grizzly veteran. He's going to come in and just be the steady force even after his eyes healed up. The thing is, he missed all of camp. He's brand new to this team. He's brand new. So he's not going to fully know the system. He's not going to have everything on board. Also, the running back cliff is usually around 28. He is almost 28 years old. So he has never been the most explosive anyways. You can kind of look at the 40-yard here. He was down at the middle. Speed score, they didn't do burst and stuff. This is coming out of college. So this is like, 8 years ago for him anyways. Got good size and everything, but, with the age, with the blowing his eye out, with the fireworks, missing all the camp, he's been kind of healthy for the most part, but getting up to this age and missing camp and stuff like that always lends itself to some problems with injuries and stuff like that. That's why I think at this point, Najee Harris, not going to be drafted, even though it's pretty late. You got Jordan Mason here, who is probably, all reports indicate he's going to be kind of splitting carries with Aaron Jones there, pretty much guaranteed, also getting the work at the goal line. There's just a bunch of other options, and really around this place, you could be taking a lot of these quarterbacks later that are really, really great choices. So we got one more pick here, and man, thinking about it now, a lot of these later guys, they are a lot of running backs. We're taking a look at Rhamondre Stevenson. Now you're thinking down here, this late, what could be the possibly problem here? Well, for Rhamondre Stevens, also, look at this, 28 years old. That's right around, he's 27 and a half. That's right around when the age cliff for running backs, unless you're a superstar stud like Derrick Henry or something like that, you can push on for a few more years. But 28 is kind of known if you've been getting the work. Also, Rhamondre Stevenson, crazy fumbling problems, fumbling all the time. He even lost touches last year to Antonio Gibson, excuse me. So he did have 8 touchdowns last year, I suppose, but his yardage and receptions was the lowest that he's had in his entire career. So he's in here for 3 years, 14, 12, 11. You're going the wrong way, son. So on top of that, they went ahead and drafted a new guy, drafted a rookie to, in my opinion, essentially take his job. Now, he's still going to get some touches, but it's not going to be worth, in my opinion, really drafting him when you have people on the upswing instead of people on the downswing. If you're taking people this late, unless you went some crazy way in the beginning of the draft, I'd much rather have a young receiver, Matthew Golden, a number 1 overall pick, a young tight end, Tyler Warren here. If you scroll down a little bit more, Emeka Egbuka, much rather have him. Young tight end Colton Loveland coming into a great situation. Even something like Tajay Spears, they're talking about splitting carries with Tony Pollard. Old Tony Pollard, young Tajay Spears. He hasn't proved it yet, but, and a lot of times down here too, tight ends and quarterbacks, this is where you can pick that stuff up. Maybe even you're going to take a chance on you coming back. I would probably not on that particular one, but even down here, starting running back, Tank Bigsby for Jacksonville. So I don't know why Tank Bigsby is so far behind. The Tootin love is just, people just love Tootin, I guess. But that's why I'm a little bit off of Rhamondre Stevenson down here at the later pick in the draft. So, hey, let me know any of these you agree or disagree with. Let me know those down in the comments. But the thing is, if you follow this guide, it's going to help you out a ton for your fantasy football league. Don't forget the like button and subscribe up before you go. Hey, football's less than a month away. Enjoy.